Okay, this video is just going to show you real quickly how to solve a trig equation using the calculator. There's an example of this on the review sheet here. Number 25 says use a calculator to solve the equation on the interval between 0 and 2 pi. Round the answers to 2 decimal places. So this particular equation is 3 cotangent theta equals -8. So you have to remember that whenever you're solving an equation using the calculator, you're basically set it up to input the left-hand side of the equation, in this case like 3 cotangent theta, into the graphing portion of the calculator, like under y1, and then the other side of the equation in one of the other equations, like y2. And you're basically looking for the intersection of those two equations. So you would it's going to put the graph of 3 cotangent theta up, and then the graph of the horizontal line -8, and then you're going to look for the intersection of those two graphs. So if you pull up your calculator, I've got these two already entered in here. In y1 I have notice there is no cotangent button, so what we have to do is we have to use the 1 over tangent. So instead of 3 cotangent x here, I have to put 3 times 1 over tangent, so that's 3 over tangent. Then I have in y2 -8. So essentially two functions, one for each side of the equation. And then you're going to have to do some window settings here. You'll put in 0 for x min, and then 2 pi for x max, because we're only looking for solutions between 0 and 2 pi. And then since I know that my intersection of the two equations is going to occur down by y equals -8, I need to make sure that my y min goes down at least as far as -8. I go down a little bit further. I go down to -10 just so we can see that line y equals -8. So I'm only looking at the y-axis from 0 to -10. And so if we go ahead and hit graph now, what we can see here is, let me clear that out. So now what we can see is we've got our red line here is the y equals -8, and then these two blue lines are just portions of the cotangent curve, that 3 times cotangent theta, or in the way we had to enter it into the calculator is 3 over tangent theta. So these two intersection points here are what we need to solve for using the intersect function on the calculator, which is by pressing second and then the trace button, which is calc, and then we look for the intersect option, which is 5. Since there's only 2 equations entered in here, it doesn't matter which is the first or the second curve. So when we're prompted to ask for the first and the second curve, just hit enter. So enter, enter, and then we'll make our guess. So since my blinking cursor is already over here by the one on the right, let me go ahead and just move the cursor close to where the intersection is and hit enter. And it says that intersection occurs at 5.92. And I think the directions for the problem said around to 2 decimal places. So for us, we go out to the third one, that's a 4. So 5.92 would be one solution to that equation. And since on the interval between 0 and 2 pi, there's another intersection here, we need to find that solution. So we'll go second, and then trace for the calculate menu, and then option 5 for intersect. This time, again, hit enter, enter, past the first and second curve questions. Now, then we have to move our cursor using the arrow keys over to the other, near the other point of intersection. Just keep hitting the arrow until you get over there. Sometimes you blow past it if you're not careful. And then when we're there, hit enter. And so 2.78. So 2.78 there, and then the first one that we did. Those are our solutions. So that's how you use the calculator to solve a trig equation when asked.